Hi friends, this is Eliana with Why Not Redesign. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are working on that beautiful Jacobean buffet that you're looking at. And the backstory on this guy is that you will see that it looks a lot like another piece that I worked on a couple of weeks ago, because this is a piece that another customer of mine who lives in Florida fell in love with, and she wanted me to do it exactly like the previous one. I'm gonna insert a copy of that picture here. I am sanding down bare the top to remove the old finish on it, and I am using my Surf Prep sander with an 80 grit sanding paper to remove all of that previous stain on it. Just gave it an additional quick clean because I felt like this sandpaper was becoming gunky. So I wiped it down again, and I am finishing up taking all of the stain off of this piece. The wood under that is absolutely stunning, and you will see how beautiful it turns out later on. Like I said, this buffet is going from Texas to Florida, and thank you to my client for trusting me with completing this work for her and having it shipped. So my client has asked for the crossed, what are this called? Cross bars or whatever to be removed. So that's what my husband is about to do. I will then have to fill this in with Bondo and then paint the back. This will not be here, and then these on the front will be stained. So that's what we're about to do. The crossbars put up a fight, and they did not want to come down easy. Nothing ever does, right? Or at least that's what happens to me. However, my husband did a great job. I wanted to address the fact that those crossbars are strictly for looks, and that is because the Jacobean style buffets always had some sort of crossbars detail, or just straight like this one's for them, but they are strictly for looks. They do not compromise the structure of the piece. There are many other buffets that do not have the crossbars and work just as fine. It's not gonna fall apart, trust me. Like I said before, I will be using Bondo to make my repairs on the legs. And basically what Bondo is a two-part wood filler that is very durable. Is used to make quick repairs. It cures very quickly and is stainable and paintable within 25 minutes. It's very durable, and that's why I like it. So you just mix the two ingredients that come. The red stuff in the tube is what makes the other material basically bind to the wood, and there are different consistencies of this, and there are different types of this. There's some that is for metal. This one in particular is for wood, and I like using it again because it dries very fast. It's easy to mix and easy to apply. As you can see right there, it would be a lot easier to use this product than if I was using, for example, a wood putty. It would take a lot more of that, and this is, at the end of the day, a little bit cheaper also. So now I am using a sander with an 80 grit paper here to sand down the Bondo and all of the fillers that I put in on the legs, wherever they were needed. I will use a different sander here now, my Surf Prep, to sand the more detailed work. and actually to prep the entire piece. I like to sand down all of the finish wherever it needs to be sanded and make it ready for paint. And with the surf prep, it's easy because it has a foam pad that I can use. It doesn't damage any of the wood, and it works perfectly on those rounded surfaces. Once I finished doing this, I used a hand sander, basically just a piece of sanding paper, to get into all the little grooves that I couldn't get into with the sander, the electric sander, and create any of those details and rounded edges that I had added with Bondo or with wood filler. I'm now cleaning the piece and I'm getting ready to start the stain process. I am going to be using an oil-based stain, and I will be doing this first before I paint. I am using the Dixie Belle No Paint gel stain in the color Walnut, and basically I like applying it with a chip brush because it helps me get into all of the little grooves and crevices. These legs are very, very detailed, so I don't want to miss any spots. I apply it, leave it on for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then come back and wipe it down with a shop towel, and the color that it leaves is absolutely beautiful. Here I am now after some time coming back with the shop towel, and as you can see, it looks like magic. That beautiful color just adheres to it. It dries in 72 hours, and then I put a top coat on it, and normally I use a couple of coats, 2 to 3, just like you would treat a top of any wood. In those little spots where the stain didn't take at once, I come back and do it 2 or 3 times extra, usually twice, and I just leave it on for a little bit longer and then come back and wipe it after maybe 25-30 minutes. For the top, I am cleaning it first before I apply the oil stain with mineral spirits, and I like using this because it takes all of the additional dust or debris that it has, but it also conditions the wood at the same time, and it allows the stain to go on very smoothly, not patchy. So I like using mineral spirits with everything really because it's wonderful, but especially when I'm gonna be using any oil stains. And as I said, here I am applying that No Paint gel stain in the color Walnut. I ended up applying 2 coats of this gel stain on the buffet top, and that's all that it needed. As that was drying, I started to prep the paint. I filled in any of the small chips that there were around the buffet, and then I gave the back legs 1 coat of paint, and then after a few hours came back and did that. I find that the back legs are always, for whatever reason, something that you should give like 2 to 3 coats of paint, or 1 additional coat, however many you do, because for some reason they take longer to dry or to take paint. Like I said, I am using Melange ONE Formula in Knapsack Khaki. Beautiful brownish tone khaki color. I ended up doing 2 coats of that on the body, and I'm applying here the 2nd coat. You see a change of scenery because as I am preparing this buffet to go to Florida, Texas is preparing for a snow and ice storm, so I decided to bring this guy home with me because it's going to be picked up in a few days, and if I can make it back to my shop to pick it up, I want to be able to finish it here and be ready for my shipper. My shop is 45 minutes from my house, so in icy conditions it could be very difficult for me to go back and get it, and I don't want to miss out on the shipper picking it up. The second coat went on very smoothly. And right here, I'm going to show you what is happening with this corner. Wanted to show you this right here with the all-in-one products. When you overwork the piece, this is drying, this is still wet. This right here is just a spot that did not want to take the paint on because I probably put it on too quickly. This is coat 2. It was dried overnight, but there are still spots that were a little bit lighter. I put on a light coat and then went back and did another one. This is overworking the paint. So it's taking it off and removing it instead of leaving it on there. So the best thing for you to do is to leave this alone, let it dry, and then come back and you can add some more right there later on once it's completely dry. There's it. Now I'm going to start on my details, and for this, when I am staining the top, I create an edge and it leaves the inside edge of the buffet unpainted, and I want to make sure that it's painted and finished well. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm painting the inside edge. I am trying to decide here if I want to use a restore finish or YSL finishing product to clean and condition the wood on this. And I am painted the inside edge behind the cabinet door. I decided to use the furniture salve and I love it. It smells absolutely delicious and it conditions the wood perfectly. I wanted to make sure that any imperfections that are shown on there were covered up, or that, you know, they were going to basically disappear, and they did. So then I moved on with a 000 steel wool pad, and that's what I'm applying the salve with. I sanded all of the extra paint or anything and cleaned up the edges of the doors and cleaned up the inside of the cabinet, and I'm about to condition it, as you can see. And just look at the difference that that salve makes. I get a lot of questions from a lot of people about how to distress, and I am not a heavy distresser, I will admit that, but when I do distress, I like to use a 120 or an 80 grit paper. And the reason why I use an 80 grit, although I use it after it has been used for sanding, so it's kind of maybe out of 120 already, is because, for example, with this paint that I use, it's an all-in-one formula, so basically it's already a sealed piece and it becomes a little bit harder to do. So this is basically just taking that sandpaper and going over all of the already outlined edges and just sanding back the paint where it would normally and naturally distress. That's how I like to distress. I don't want to overdo it, but just do it where it would normally happen naturally. And you go a little bit heavier in some spots and a little bit lighter in some spots, but basically just take it in a very natural kind of way. The blue block that you see me using is a 220 grit, and right after I do that, I come back to any of the pieces where I have over sanded in my opinion, and then I just give it a quick touch up with the paint and make sure that it looks spotless. When you're sanding, it's also pretty good to have a wet towel by you and then clean immediately so you can see what you have done. And if you want to sand some more, you can do that, or if you think that it looks great, then that's what you do. And here's what it looks like. On this piece, I use the furniture salve also to seal those spots where I sanded back the paint. Like I said, the all-in-one already has the top coat on it. And here I have finished it, and I am now doing my staging, which doesn't always come very easy, but I get it done. So I'm gonna let you watch it. Tell me in the comments what you guys think, how the process went, what you guys think about the piece. Make sure that you subscribe, turn on your notifications, and help me continue to grow my channel. Share, because that is how I will grow. I appreciate your time and being here, and I hope that you enjoyed this video just as much as I enjoyed completing this commissioned project. It's going to Florida on Saturday, and I just absolutely love it. So here it is, all done. What do you all think? Staging is done. Legs look beautiful. Sanding, just a little bit of those edges made all of the difference. The top looks beautiful. The new hardware looks adorable. And I think she looks just like the other piece. One lives in New York and this one will live in Florida. And here, one more look at the inside cabinets and the drawers. All conditioned and looking and smelling delicious. Beautiful drawers, all wood. If you guys are looking for that perfect piece and want to customize it with me, contact me. I'm always available. Thanks again, guys. I appreciate your time today. I hope this one wasn't too long, but it definitely, I didn't want to leave anything out. So I appreciate you. Thanks so much, y'all. Bye.